The world knows her as the girl with the perfect voice, the viral sensation who conquered the internet from a quiet studio. But in 2026, the digital curtain is being ripped down. Lucy Thomas is stepping into a high-stakes arena where one flat note could end a legacy, and one bold move could spark a revolution. From the cutthroat stage of London's West End to a massive, risky European tour, she is betting her entire career on a truth the industry isn't ready for. This isn't just a comeback, it's a fight for her soul, her voice, and her future. Is she becoming the next global legend, or is the pressure about to break the most beautiful voice of our generation? This is the untold, high-stakes evolution of Lucy Thomas. Lucy Thomas is stepping out of the digital shadows and onto the hallowed boards of London's, taking a massive risk that could define her legacy forever. By securing the lead role in the musical, she isn't just singing. She is challenging the very elite of the theater world who view viral stars with deep-seated skepticism. The transition from a controlled studio environment to the raw, unforgiving heat of a live West End spotlight is a trial by fire that few internet sensations ever survive. Every night will be a battle against exhaustion and high expectations, as she attempts to prove that her voice possesses the theatrical stamina required for 8 grueling shows a week. If she triumphs, she will silence the critics who claim she is merely a product of clever audio engineering and digital marketing. However, the pressure of carrying a multi-million-dollar production on her young shoulders is a weight that could either forge a diamond or shatter a rising star before she even reaches her true peak. The announcement of her first major international tour across Geneva and has sent massive shockwaves through the global music industry and her massive American. Moving a full-scale production, complete with a majestic 30-piece orchestra, across international borders is a logistical nightmare that would terrify even the most seasoned veteran performers in the industry. For years, her global audience, particularly in the United States, has begged for a physical presence, and 2026 is the year she finally answers that call with an unprecedented level of ambition. This move is a calculated strike to transform her from a British curiosity into a legitimate global powerhouse capable of filling arenas worldwide. Yet the financial risks are staggering for an independent artist operating without the safety net of a major corporate label to absorb potential losses. Every ticket sold is a testament to her drawing power, but every empty seat is a threat to the financial empire she has painstakingly built from the ground up since her childhood. In what some industry insiders are calling a move of pure genius, and others a form of career suicide, Lucy is officially abandoning the safety of the Broadway covers that made her famous. Her upcoming 7th studio album represents a radical departure, consisting almost entirely of original compositions that reveal her deepest thoughts, vulnerabilities, and untold personal stories. By pivoting to original music, she is stripping away the protective shield of familiar classics and exposing her soul to the harsh judgment of global music critics. For her fans in the USA and beyond, this is the moment they discover if they love the voice or the artist behind the voice, a distinction that determines long-term longevity. Singing a legendary classic allows the song to carry the performer, but singing an original demands that the artist carry the song through sheer force of will. This transition is her bid for a seat at the table with icons like Taylor Swift, moving beyond imitation toward a legacy of true, authentic creative ownership. Lucy Thomas is currently executing a revolutionary blueprint for modern stardom by maintaining absolute independence in an industry designed to colonize and control young talent. Major record executives are reportedly frustrated and bewildered by her massive success, as they cannot control her narrative or take a percentage of her enormous streaming revenue. By staying solo, she has kept her artistic integrity intact, but this independence makes her a target for industry sabotage and exclusion from mainstream award ceremonies. The gatekeepers of the traditional music world often try to stifle independent artists who refuse to sign toxic contracts, yet Lucy continues to bypass them through direct fan engagement. Her success is a direct threat to the old-world model of the music business, proving that a loyal digital community is more powerful than any corporate marketing machine. However, Being the queen of her own empire means there is no one else to blame if a strategic move fails, placing the entire burden of her 2026 legacy squarely upon her own capable but heavily pressured shoulders. As 2026 unfolds, Lucy Thomas has officially shattered records by surpassing a staggering 2 billion views across her social platforms, a metric that dwarfs many Grammy-winning artists. This level of digital influence has turned her into a tier mogul, a term used to describe her unique blend of musical talent and masterful command of modern media landscapes. Her reach in the American market is particularly potent, where her purity of tone stands in stark contrast to the often overproduced and sensationalized content of her peers. She has proven that she doesn't need manufactured drama, public breakups, or controversial headlines to stay relevant in a fast-paced, ever-changing digital world. Her strategy is deceptively simple but incredibly difficult to execute. Consistent vocal excellence combined with an authentic connection to her global audience. This massive data footprint gives her unprecedented leverage in any negotiation, yet it also makes her a prime target for digital pirates and those who seek to exploit her image for their own gain without her consent. Behind the flawless high notes and the radiant smiles of the 2026 promotional tour lies a much darker and more concerning narrative regarding Lucy's long-term mental well-being. The schedule she is maintaining, balancing West End rehearsals, an international tour, and a new album, is described by health experts as alarmingly intense for a young artist. The psychological pressure to never hit a flat note or have a bad day in the age of tick, where every second is recorded, is an invisible weight that few can truly understand. There are whispers of a strict vocal silence policy between shows, a necessary but isolating practice that prevents her from engaging in normal social interactions to save her gift. This level of extreme discipline often leads to a profound sense of loneliness, as she carries the expectations of millions while having to protect her voice like a fragile glass artifact. The entertainment industry is littered with the stories of performers who gave everything to their art until there was nothing left for themselves, raising questions about how long she can sustain this pace. In 2026, Lucy Thomas finds herself at the epicenter of a futuristic legal storm involving artificial intelligence and the unauthorized theft of her distinct, crystalline vocal tone. Because her voice is so recognizable and pure, AI developers have frequently targeted her likeness to create deepfake performances that threaten her intellectual property. Protecting her digital identity has become a full-time legal battle, as her team fights to ensure that her craft isn't devalued by soulless machine-generated imitations. This conflict represents a new frontier for artists in the USA and the UK, where the law is often 3 steps behind the rapidly evolving technology of vocal synthesis. If her voice can be perfectly replicated by a computer, the scarcity and value of her live performances could be compromised, making this a fight for the very soul of her career. Lucy isn't just fighting for her own royalties. She is standing on the front lines of a war to define what it means to be a human artist in a world increasingly dominated by synthetic and artificial creations. The sheer physical toll of her 2026 ambitions cannot be overstated, as the grueling pace of international travel is notorious for causing catastrophic vocal fatigue in even the strongest singers. Moving between different climates, enduring the dry air of airplanes, and performing high-stamina sets nightly creates a perfect storm for potential long-term vocal cord damage. Industry insiders report that her rehearsal schedule is being pushed to the absolute limit, leaving almost zero room for error or recovery time if she falls ill. Fans are concerned that the signature purity of her voice, the very thing that made her a global icon, could be permanently altered by the stresses of this massive expansion. We have seen many great vocalists lose their range or their tone by trying to do too much too fast in their early 20s, and Lucy is currently walking that exact tightrope. The year 2026 will reveal if her technique is truly bulletproof, or if the biological limits of the human voice will eventually force a slowdown in her meteoric and highly aggressive career trajectory. Lucy's market value has skyrocketed in 2026, making her one of the most profitable and desirable independent assets in the entire United Kingdom and European music sectors. This immense success has led to intense speculation about an eventual corporate buyout, where a major global entity might offer hundreds of millions to own her catalog. For her American fans, the question is whether she will remain the independent darling or eventually succumb to the massive financial allure of a major US-based record label. Selling out could provide her with even greater resources and fame, but it would almost certainly cost her the creative freedom that has been the cornerstone of her brand. The tension between remaining a solo mogul and becoming a corporate product is a central theme of her 2026 narrative, as she decides what kind of legend she wants to be. Her current path reveals a new truth, that a loyal audience is the ultimate currency, providing more power and security than any traditional recording contract ever could in the modern age. As the 2026 calendar draws to a close, Lucy Thomas stands at the ultimate crossroads that will determine if she becomes a multi-generational legend or a cautionary tale of burnout. Every decision made this year, from the West End stage to the original songwriting, has been a high-stakes gamble designed to cement her place in the pantheon of greats. The world is watching with bated breath to see if her voice will hold up under the crushing weight of global expectations and the cutthroat nature of professional critics. She has successfully disrupted every rule in the music industry playbook, proving that talent and direct connection can bypass the traditional gatekeepers of fame. However, the true story is still being written in the sweat of the rehearsal room and the silence of the recording studio, far away from the glitz of the viral videos. Whatever the outcome, Lucy Thomas has proven that she is the most compelling and dangerous disruptor in music today, and the year 2026 is her definitive moment of truth on the world stage.